Hello, everyone. Happy Tuesday. Today's May 19th, 2026. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit subscribe and also the follow button so you can get notified of my next video. And as always, this is a collective message. If it doesn't resonate with you, hey, you don't have to to take it. Don't force anything. This are usually questions that I have when I'm thinking about something, and I will ask the my creator and my guides for a message. Okay, so we're gonna get started with the first card that I pulled. I pulled the Lenormand card, and this is the Ring card, and it's pretty self-explanatory. The ring usually refers to marriage. It refers to commitment. It refers to love. Most importantly, um, but I want to kind of dig into the meaning of the ring itself, right? A ring represents saying, I'm committed to you, I'm connected to you. We're going to be here until, for some instances, okay? But we're not going to get into this, to death do you part, because it's just a symbol. This is what you're symbolizing, that you're saying to someone else, right? The the ring can represent marriage. So many things the ring represents. But at the end of the day, what the ring really saying is love. Okay, love. There is a connect. There's an ending love. So if I don't know if you guys know this, I don't know if it's a myth or not, but they say that the reason why we wear the wedding ring on the left, on that ring finger, is because the ring fingers, there's a nerve that's connected to the heart. I don't know if it's true or not. I'm just saying. But if it is, that would be a beautiful symbolism as to why the ring is put there, okay? And so this is the meaning, this is a symbolism to describe love, that we're connected to a love contract, right? But what I want to focus on today is how, why is it that we don't get to experience, not everybody get to experience this love or get to see what this love is, right? Here on earth. What was in my mind this morning was duality. And it was interesting that the first card that I pulled was oneness, right? Becoming one with something. Also, the meaning of this is becoming one, right? There's no two, it's just one connected circle. And so the first message is we have a covenant, a connection, a non-ending, um, not ending covenant or connection or contract with love. It's just not ending. It doesn't end. It's for always there. It's always, always there. But when we come here, what we experience is something we call duality. And duality is that which is not, right? So if we come from love, right? If we come from love, and this is who we are, when we enter this space, we experience that which we're not. And that is represented in a lot of times, anything that is opposite of love: pain, disappointment, hurt, grief, like all the things that we experience in this realm is the opposite of who we are, the opposite of the all and all. Like, we are all those things. So, and the reason why we chose the experience, and this might go over some folks' head, and that's okay, is to experience that which we're not. Now, one thing I would say, that just a quick disclaimer, not to the extent that we're experiencing, and I will talk about this in another post, not to the extent of what we experience. You know what? I think I might have talked about that already, you guys. I just had to find it. I think it's one of my podcasts, okay? But a lot of the things that we experience, that we feel, the pain, the hurt, the sadness, is an opposite of who we are. And that is why it feels, because whenever we experience these type of things, there's a loss involved, right? And loss is associated with grief. But one thing that we must understand, even though we are experiencing these things that are going through our heart, right? That is piercing through our hearts, our heart is still there. that heart still has that unconditional, that beautiful love that exists, that goes nowhere. The only thing that we are experiencing that is piercing through us is those emotions, those things that we think, because whenever we experience loss, pain, or disappointment, we think we have lost something, right? There's a loss. And the reality is we haven't lost anything. All we're experiencing the emotions associated with the experience that we are that we're having, right? So if you loss of a marriage, right? That sword, the loss of a job, the loss of anything, right? Those things, those emotions pierces through our heart and makes us feel as though this is no longer there, that we're separate from this love, but we're not. It's just that we have those things, those experiences, these swords, experiences that we're going through is making it feel like it's no longer there. Because if we were to pull, right, those swords out, what is we going to encounter? A whole and complete heart. The heart is still whole and complete. All we need to do is pull the swords out. In other words, we are whole and complete. I think I talked about this on one of my posts, is that I don't think we're looking for love. We are love. We are love. We are whole. This heart is whole and complete. All that is there is some things that are obstructing from it being, from it thriving, from it being what it always have been. Okay. In other words, we are still with source. We're still connected. We're still connected to that unconditional love. There is no separation. There's never been any separation. Okay. This heart is whole and complete. There's nothing that is not making it whole and complete. All there is some obstruction. So that is given us the idea that there's something missing, and there's absolutely nothing missing, but rather there are things that are clouding our perspective, that are clouding how we see ourselves, that are clouding how we feel about ourselves, that are clouding the love that we are. So when we remove those things out of the way, guess what we get to see? We get to see the whole and complete of who we are. That has never been torn or never been ripped. It is still there. It is still present in all of us. Okay. And the next card that I pulled was the 4 Wands, the Lord of Perfected Work. So how do we experience that which we are in a space that makes us feel that which we're not? How do we experience that in this particular place? How do we get clarity? How do we pull these swords out? How do we do that, right? I always say by leaning in and ask questions. Wait, how am I acting out of love? I posted something on Instagram today where I said, if you're a vegan and someone else is not, cook them a steak, not to make them change who they are, who you are, but to learn how to coexist with our differences. When we learn to coexist with our differences without trying to change anyone, trying to manipulate anyone, or trying to control anyone, when we are able to do that, there is a balance. Okay? There is a balance. We're a balance within ourselves. If you look here, okay, there is a balance. Lord of Perfected Work. We have perfected that work. The way that we bring or experience who we are, which is unconditional love, okay, always connected to source, no separation. The way we experience that is by leaning in to what it is that we're dealing with and saying, hey, I'm whole and complete. I lack nothing. And all these things that I'm going through right now, these emotions, are the experience to remind myself of who I am, right? And when we do that, when we can coexist with each other, when we can be vulnerable and say, here's who I am authentically, then we bring what? Balance, okay? That balance returns to ourselves. And that balance is what is also whole and completion, right? There is no separation. We understand who we are. We're all different, yet part of the same source. part of the same source, okay? And with that, what ends up happening is we bring stability. We are centered, we are grounded, we are rooted in who we are, okay? The earth element, we're here to experience those things, experience those emotions. But what we do is when we are able to do that, bring that unconditional love here on earth, be able to accept one another for who each other are instead of having to control, manipulate, because we fear. Remember that fear comes from that of this what do you call it, false evidence of being real, right? The fear is what manipulates and control. When we remove that and we become vulnerable, guess what? Stability. We can be with each other. We can be with one another. And with that, we can bring who we are here on this earth, which is unconditional love. Okay? So just take a little quick recap. We are unconditional love. We are connected to source. We're not separate from it. Okay? From that love. We are that love. And as that love, we are whole and complete. All we're experiencing is all the pain and things that we experience, all the pain and the things that we're dealing with, all our experiences, and that tends to cloud our judgment of who we are. It tends to cloud and covers up who we truly are. Because remember, the heart is still here, whole and complete. The heart is whole and complete. All we need to do is lean into what those things are in our lives and begin to pull those things one by one, okay? Acceptance not only of ourselves, but also of others, bringing that that balance, okay? Bringing that balance into our lives, accepting one another, and then we're all able to experience the same thing. And with that, bringing stability, okay? So that is my message, you guys, for today. Lean in. Look at some things that you might be dealing with right now. See what they are. And when you begin to do that work, begin to remove those things, you're able to be going back to yourself, which is whole and complete. All right. I'll see you guys next time.